Hi, it's Yearbook Guy Nabil. So we want to look at doing photo cutouts. There's a whole bunch of ways to do them, but we want to look at three. We're going to use Adobe Photoshop, we're going to use an online free program known as Photopea, and we're going to use Adobe Express. So let's go. So when we look at a photo, we are sometimes looking at doing cutouts for a person or for people or for a group or for a turtle or for a bike. In this case, we're going to do a cutout of a person. So we want to remove, in this case, the colored background in behind the subject. We have in Photoshop the ability to work in layers. Looking at Photoshop, it's actually easier now even than it used to be before, and it used to be pretty easy. Here in the image, we can see at the very bottom, right below, that we have select subject or remove background. In this case, we just want to do the quickest thing, which is remove background. I will pause here. Once it's done processing, we'll jump back into it. So what do we think? Looks pretty good, doesn't it? When we zoomed in, we could see that we've got some hair that is a little bit cropped off and a little bit of a flyaway. We can use our eraser tool to get rid of those. But Photoshop does a fantastic job. Something important to remember with Photoshop is when we save the file, we want to save it as something that's going to be usable. Now, there are multiple formats that you can use that will maintain that cutout. However, if you're using it for Yearbook, especially with the Friesens program, you'll want to save it as a TIFF file, T-I-F-F, in particular, TIFF with transparency. I'll show you. Purple background for cutout. I do have it saved as a TIFF file or listed to save as a TIFF file. I'm going to click to save that. And again, I want to make sure that I'm saving it as a TIFF with a transparency. So it's telling me that I've already saved it. I know that I did. And now it's going to pop up and asking me what format I want to save it in. And in this case, again, it's going to be TIFF with transparency, just like this. Save as transparency. So I want to make sure that that is selected. Then I will click OK. And again, it's going to pop up. And it's saved. We're good to go. Now, let's take a look at option number 2, which is Photopea. Because we're using the online free program, we want to keep in mind that there's going to be a whole bunch of ads off to the side. As long as you're okay with that, this program is great. Let me show you. So in this case, I'm going to jump in and I want to go to select my object. And in this case, a little bit different than selecting an object. I'm actually going to here select either subject or magic cut. Magic cut's actually what I want because I want it to do the work for me. So let's have a look. We'll leave it with magic cut and we'll pause for a moment as it selects and does its work. And we'll take a look. So the program has selected the masking area. And as I can see here, I have the two versions on the left and on the right. One of them has the background still there. The other one has the background removed. I have my green functionality. And with the green functionality, it'll give me the options of being able to do one of two things. And that is selecting the area that I want to keep or that I want to remove. The red is selecting the area that I want to remove or deselecting. The gray would actually be deselecting over top of. So if I have a green and I need to make adjustments, I can't just overwrite that with the red. The green and red in this program actually are not meant to touch. It'll tell you that. So I would use the gray to erase the red if I wanted to put green in that area, and I would use the gray to erase the green if I wanted to come back and put red in that area. But this looks great. I really like this. I think you would probably agree that this is just as good as well. And perhaps we might want to do some cutouts of, I should say, some erasing of the hair at the top, which we can certainly do that as well. But this looks good. I'm going to click OK, and then I would save it. Again, with this one, because it's a cutout, we just want to pay particular attention to the format that we save it in. Now, when I go to save this file, you'll see here that I can save it as a PSD, I can save more, or I can export. I'm actually going to select export because I want to go into export as, and I'm going to come down to the bottom and I want to export it as a TIFF file. So I could do that and then export it to save it in that same folder. Now, we've got this. Everything looks great. It's just telling me the file size. I'm good with that. I would click save. So let's have a look now at how to use another program which is known as Adobe Express. This program is getting extremely popular, especially being that we have Adobe Express now accessible directly from ConnectMe inside the Yearbook program. Schools are loving it. Let's take a look. So Adobe Express is fantastic. Let's have a look at how to do that we just did in Photoshop and in Photopea here inside Adobe Express. So I'm going to just simply click to select the image. I have the image selected. I want to move over here to where the puppy is and click Remove Background. Now it'll take its moment to process, to think. It'll look at the image and say, where do I need to remove stuff? And then it removes stuff. Done. I've done nothing else. this is the image. And you can see that there are flyaway hairs, and it looks fantastic. The flyaway hairs are actually still attached to the head. Now, keeping in mind that I still have that white background in here. Maybe I want that white background, or maybe I want to add something of color. I could certainly do that. So perhaps I want to add a lighter pale color, or maybe I want to add something that's a little bit more of an earth tone or watercolors. It'll actually recommend some colors for me. I can select additional colors, or maybe I don't want a color and I want it to be transparent. So I select no fill, done. That's it. I can download that, or if I'm inside the yearbook program, the share button would actually be save. I would click save, and I've got it in my yearbook. It's available now to utilize there. I'm Yearbook Guy Nabil. I hope this has been just as fun for you as it has been for me. Happy yearbooking.